What is going on, people? It is Tuesday. What's going on, Mr. Jack? How are you doing this fine evening? It has been a crazy day today since the get-go this morning. So I'm so glad to be home and be winding down, and we're going to talk about some sweet projects, well, a sweet project and some awesome art. And thanks a lot for joining tonight. Without further ado, I'm going to bring out J.W. Sims. What's going on?
All right,
cool. There's no audio glitch. I can hear you. Yes.
all right. It's my magic
Yeah, it's your magic.
touch.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I'll be doing a live show, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. And it's like always, I'm like, it doesn't do it 3 shows, so I don't tell somebody. And then I get on and they're talking, and it's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, I hope you're not asking me anything because I'm just going.
Be like, yep. Yeah.
So Omni, tell me a little bit about this. How did this project come to fruition?
All right. Well, it's probably not your usual way. In 2015, I started Hooligan Alley Comics. I did a comic book. It's a comic that I actually wrote probably in the early 90s called Darkest Night. I actually drew 6 issues of it. I was a security guard. I drew like 6 issues while I just sat there and doing nothing. But like in 93, 94, we didn't know how to there was no place for us to just send our stuff and get books printed. So I sat on this forever. And in 2015, I wasn't able to work anymore. I had an accident at work. And so my brother and everyone's like, you just need to do your comic book. So I started that, and I put the first issue out. We had another book we put out, and through my Facebook page, L.C. Holt, who most people would know him if you're a horror fan. He was in the movie You're Next. He was the goat mask killer. He's been in some other horror movies since then, VHS 2, a couple other things. He's actually making a movie right now that got funded on Indiegogo called Time's Up. It's a New Year's Eve horror type movie. And he had contacted me on the company Facebook page and said, hey, I have this idea for a superhero comic book, about like 12 issues. It's going to, 3 story arcs. And I just started talking to him. I was like, that sounds cool. Let's do it. And I found him an artist, and the artist kind of flaked out on us, I guess. We have like a company page where I message everyone who works for us like once a month, just see how their projects are doing, if they need help with anything. And he would message me, like private message. He was like, hey, did you hear from, so-and-so? I was like, no, I thought you two were like getting together and doing your thing. He's like, no, I haven't heard from him. So I tried to get a hold of him. He didn't hear back. So I was like, I guess I'll just I was working on a book of my own. I was like, I'll just put it in the back burner and I'll take over the art on Omni. Because I figured that was probably a more important book to get out than one that's written and drawn by me, who nobody knows. Where, L.C. Holt, this guy at least has been, has a name, wants to write a book for us. So I jumped onto it from there.
Awesome. So you haven't published what the work that you originally had worked on?
I have. Like I said, Darkest Night. I have actually 3 issues done. I only have 1 out that I put out, and it was the first thing I've drawn in. I don't know, since I had kids, and I'll tell you, I have a son that's going to be 20 years old. So it tells you how long. It was between me actually drawing. So it's horrendous. I mean, I can't even look at it. Like, the art is so bad. And so I actually I went back recently and started redrawing the whole first issue. So I can put those first 3 issues out in one book eventually. I mean, it's not important. And then I have Project 34, which is a book that I wrote I actually have 27 issues of that book written already.
Wow.
I have 2 issues out, and I have started on the 3rd issue. It's kind of like an X-Men superhero team book. But I haven't Kickstarted or anything. I finish it and I send it to the printer. I get some copies. I put it on Indie Planet. Actually, if you go to our website, hooliganalleycomics.com, you sign up for the newsletter, you get the first issue for free. But I'm not looking to make any money off of that book. That's just, it's a very special book to me. So I just want people to read it. It's nothing. Omni's like our, hopefully our big book.
Trish, Mike is in his candy shop opening stuff from Tom. Oh boy. So welcome to the show, Lewis. And
Hey, Lou.
thanks for joining,
Trish.
Trish. Mike said he'll watch back later because he's opening his candy shop stuff from Tom. So,
oh, sorry, Jack. I did not have a gun. I don't think they would have trusted us with guns.
He had it. Well, see, they started him out with. Here's what happened, Jack. They started him out with a taser, and he accidentally tased himself. And they're like, "All right, well, look, man, we're not going to trust this guy with the gun. You were lucky enough to get a taser, and you screwed it up. So now you're getting pepper spray." And
we were lucky if we had a flashlight. Let me just tell you, like it wasn't.
Hey, man, those mag lights, man. Those
well, it wasn't even. It was a mini mag light.
It was a mini mag light. It's one of those little, little pin keychain ones with the little the old incandescent style bulbs.
They gave them to us for Christmas one year. I remember.
Oh my gosh,
that was our Christmas.
Yeah, I actually worked for a while as an armed courier. So we started out. I don't mean to derail the show, but we started out with 38 revolvers, and this was back in 2009. No, it's 2008, 2009. We had 38 special revolvers because St. Louis City had this crazy rule that no one could outgun them, and a lot of them still carried 38 revolvers, and so we were stuck with having 38 revolvers because of that. So it took them like millions of dollars in like fighting. They finally got it pushed through. We were able to get Smith & Wesson M&P 40s, and they were freaking awesome, man. I loved it. That was so much fun because they'd be like, "Oh, here's 200 rounds. Go down to the shooting range." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to stockpile half of it for my 40s, and I'm going to use the other half." So that's cool. So you wrote some of these books while you were a security guard, and then you've kind of published a few of them, but now you've got this project that's fallen in your lap with Omni. So you want to tell us a little bit about the story about it? Without ruining anything.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. Give us your elevator pitch, like everybody says.
It's about Floyd Miller. He's a 20-something comic book store employee owner. He lives in the back. He's never had luck with women or anything. He's just a comic book nerd. He's his favorite comic book is a book called Mega. It's from 1979. It only ran for 10 issues. And in this world, there is no superheroes. There's never been, it's not like Marvel or something where there's thousands of these superpowered. It's just like this world, exactly. And he comes in contact with this rock, and he gets these powers, the powers of Mega, really. Like it's like a god. So in this world where there's never been a superhero, now all of a sudden there's this person who's like a god. So if you think about it, in this world, if someone was like that, you're going to have people who think he is a god. They're going to want to worship him. There's people who are going to be afraid of this, like this person with power. And then, of course, the governments of the world are going to try to use him because, it's a weapon against their enemies.
Use them and experiment on them, the whole 9 yards.
So this 20-something-year-old guy now is this god, and it's just you think this is Omni here behind me. He looks like a god, but he's still just this 20-year-old comic book geek in his head. So just think if you were given these powers, what would happen? Like you can now do anything you want, and nobody can stop you.
Got you covered, Jack. He has dropped the link. I dropped it in there.
Oh, thanks.
What's going on, Ed? Thanks for joining in, buddy. And I dropped that
Hey, Ed.
link in there for you, Jack. So that sounds awesome. I mean, and it sounds so more of a realistic story. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
This guy.
Actually, whenever LC wrote the book, I mean, every time Trump fired somebody in his cabinet, he was sending me a rewrite because at first this book originally was out 2 years ago. So in issue 2, President Trump's like in the first couple pages in his cabinet and everything. So we made sure you can see it's like this world. It's not this made up metropolis world. You know, it's this world.
It's true to this world. So like
Yeah.
you got president, you got the cabinet, you got everything going on like it's present day, and you got this guy that's just like, oh man, I touch this rock and I got these powers and I got to worry about these guys probing me and doing experiments. We can't forget the probing. That always happens. We got to throw that in there. I'm not the mic dropper, but I try.
Yeah. Mike, I think Mike must have like a form somewhere in his computer that has like every link of every Kickstarter. Because as soon as you mention it, boom, it'll be in the chat.
Yep, it will be in the chat. Usually I do too, but our iPad, we've had it a year and it won't charge like at all. Like it's the weirdest thing ever. You plug it in and the battery symbol comes up because it's dead, and it's like it flashes red, so it detects that something's being plugged in, but it won't charge. So whatever. I don't know. It's going to be one of those jobs where I take it apart and try to fix it myself because it'll probably be more expensive than buying a new iPad to get it fixed.
Probably. Well,
how much is to get this charging port fixed? Well, sir, that'll be $597.
How much is the new one? 300.
Yeah, exactly. So my wife can wish in one hand.
And there's a mic drop. I see a mic drop in the.
Every Kickstarter I have backed. There you go.
Yes.
Oh, do we have Mr. Stephanopoulos in here? I didn't see him sneak in. Oh, Marseille's here too. Hey, Marseille. It's on my comic list. Russell's talking about this compact Presario. No, it's not my compact. Trust me, I will never, ever own a compact. It's this handy dandy. Hold on. We got to get it's this Samsung. Yeah.
Chromebook.
This is my 10-year-old Chromebook. This is Old Glory here that I wrote my book originally on, and I launched my book on Kickstarter. Now, she keeps up with it. She can't do anything fancy, but she can do the base minimum. Don't worry, we're working on upgrades in 2021 now that things are looking up around here. But no, this household will never own a compact or HP. It's always Toshiba or Samsung Chromebook. Yeah, no compacts. Compacts, boo. That was always the worst, man. You remember that back when we were in school, and that's all they had were compacts. And here you are, you're like,
you must be younger than me. I mean, because when I was in school, we still had those like Apple IIe things where we had to like put in all the programs.
Yeah. Well, back when I was in elementary school, we had that. We freaking played Oregon Trail on them. Oh my gosh! And what was the other game? Lights Out. That was the only two programs that the computer was capable of running. And like you'd be playing Oregon Trail, and it would just freeze up, and then like, hold on, we got to reset.
I was even in high school. Like everybody in study hall would go to the library so they could play Oregon Trail. Because what else we have to do?
Yeah, and then they would be like, "Oh, we got to reset it. It locked up." And then they reset it, and it was like 45 minutes later, the Apple logo came up on there, and it's like, "All right, we're getting somewhere." Chromebook, did that come free with your track phone? Get out of here, Steph. You're the one. Steph, you're the one with the jitterbug. That's all right. Hey, you know what, Lewis? If you're still here, go ahead and cancel Steph's life alert for us. That way he doesn't get resuscitated. No, I'm just kidding. Steph's just a little butthurt about my comment last night. It was pretty funny. That's really between the cheeks. Oh, gosh. These guys, I tell you. So growing up, what were your favorite comic books growing up? Like, did you have a certain artists or certain writers that you really enjoyed?
Not like really grown up. When I my first like introduction to comic books, I'd say, was Batman. I don't even know how I got them. I was little. I mean, I was less than 5 years old probably, and my mom would somehow get all these comic books from somewhere. I don't know. And she would tell you that I was drawing Batman before I was walking. Like I would just start, obviously not have the Batman shirt on, but um, and so that was like, but I still was too young to actually understand what was going on. You know, I just liked. I don't even know if I could read it. I just so, but Jim Aparo was like that artist, like that Batman artist for me. Um, and then as I got older, I had a friend who. Well, I grew up with all sisters. I have a stepbrother that I didn't even meet until I was like 10 years old. So um, I grew up with all sisters, so it wasn't much, GI Joe or Transformers in my house growing up. And then I ended up with a friend in junior high who was really into GI Joe, and I started hanging out with him. So I got into GI Joe comic books, and there's a little store by my house, and I would pick up GI Joe whenever we went grocery shopping. You know, back then they were 55 cents. And one time I went and didn't have GI Joe, but there was this issue of X-Men. It was X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 191, and on the cover it's Vision fighting Colossus. And I remember opening it up, and Spider-Man's like strung up, is almost like being crucified. He's all tore up, he's bleeding. And at that point, my only introduction to the X-Men was on the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon, and then the Pride of the X-Men animated movie. So I picked it up because I thought, oh my God, Spider-Man's like all beat up. And I read that and I was like hooked. That was John Romita Jr. who drew that issue. And I have bought every issue of X-Men since then. Like since 191, I've got everything. And so that became my book, was X-Men. And that's so of course then like in the 90s, Jim Lee became and that's when I really started really getting into drawing. I mean, I diddled around, but actually doing comic book art, Jim Lee, especially when he first started on Punisher War Journal. I remember I picked up the one issue that had Wolverine in it, ended up being like 2 issues, and that was it. Like I was Jim Lee, and so my early stuff was very, very Jim Lee like. I tried to model my art after his style. And then like when he broke off, went to Image, I really got into the Image stuff. Like I think I have almost the whole 90s like Image collection, like everything. If I go to a comic book store or to a con, I go through all the back issues trying to find stuff I don't have, even stuff I do have. Like there's a couple books I have a ton of. And that's when I found Brett Booth when he was doing Stormwatch. And I really fell in love with his style. I followed him ever since. And that's really Jim Lee, Brett Booth have kind of like kind of mixed, and then later on with Michael Turner, because I could not draw women to save my life, and Michael Turner is like him and J. Scott Campbell probably are like the gods of drawing women. So I just really started following his style to try to get my women and things like that. So I guess my style is like a blend of those three. Especially in Omni, you can see it a lot because that book was actually done a couple years ago. And so it's like really Jim Lee, Brett Booth kind of influence stuff.
Awesome. Oh my God, the chat is totally derailed.
I know, I'm like, what is, I just see butt smash, what?
Yeah, so hold on, we gotta back this up a little bit and get caught up. So let's see. So Jack said, by the way, JW, that's quite the interesting picture for your Kickstarter.
Thank you, Jack. And actually, some people might be a little disappointed that image doesn't show up in the book at all. I actually drew that image just for the Kickstarter.
Oh, that's cool. So is it going to be one of the stretch goals that you can get that as like a print?
It might. I'll probably have it as a print, just because I didn't want to put that much time into it and not like put it anywhere. So.
And then let's see. Then Lewis said that between the cheeks. Courtney joined in, and then Steph was talking about her food porn. She was posting some steak a little bit ago. And so, what comment did you make that hurt Steph's butt cheek? So that's where the butt smash and all that came into play. So yesterday, Steph posted a picture of his 33 Harry Potter books that were like limited to 33, and So he had a picture of them all together, and they were stacked to where all you could see was the owl, like where the Marvel or the DC logo is.
Yeah.
And Antonio D commented and said, "Way to ruin the picture stuff. You know, you could have gotten 34, or 34. No, it was 33 asses in one shot." And I said, "Well, according to Carrie Ann, if Steph's in the picture, it'd be 34 asses." So I just teased him. I know he probably laughed when he seen it. And Courtney said it was delicious. Marseille said, "Rawr, guys." And then they were asking about what the side was. And then, wait, did I see food porn and Stuff's butt cheek? Lewis is seeing ghosts. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's the Stay Puft marshmallow, because I got some graham crackers and some chocolate in there. I'm gonna toast his ass after I blow him up. I mean, we got some, it is Russ Explode Studios. And then, so Courtney had some scalloped potatoes. And then Marseille wanted to know if the food porn was involved with Steph's cheeks. And that's where she said butt smash. Trish said, "Tell your sisters they are bad, because this sister plays with G.I. Joes and Thundercats too." Just because Trish is awesome.
That's right.
And then freaking shaved potatoes. I need a cold shower now. Whoa. What happened?
It went off the rails. That's all I know.
No, I got a comment dump, and the comments went crazy. So Heather's in here, and then Marcy says those shaved potatoes hurt your butt stuff. I think you need a therapist. Everybody's saying hi to Heather. Courtney said Michael Turner was my huge inspiration.
Yeah, Michael Turner. I mean, his art is just. I mean, it came out of nowhere. Obviously, Turner. Oh, wrong way. I got the Michael. I still can't point to it. Michael Turner. The Civil War poster. Got that from Wish, believe it or not. It's on canvas. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and his art is amazing.
Yeah.
And see Heather saying hi to Marseille, pretty lady in the house.
Thank you.
And then see, too many pretty ladies in the house and the Russell's butt explode show. Here we go. And then we got Ed saying hi. Let's see. Whoa, comments went crazy again. I came into the chat at the wrong time. Everything was out of context. And yeah, I agree, Heather. That's the best time to come in, because it's like, what the hell did I just step in? Like, I came into the show and we're talking about comic books. Next thing you know, we come up and the chat's talking about butt cheeks and food porn.
What?
It was 33 and to Trish, because Steph is awesome and hooked me up.
And Trish.
Let's see some art. Yeah, so do you have any pieces handy that you can show off? Or I can look up your Instagram and I can show it. Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, it's I did an interview last night and they asked me the same thing. It's on my phone. I do know. It's at Hooligan _Alley _ cosplay. I'm sorry. Because I started my Instagram for my cosplay and now it's all art. So
that's great. So Marseille's little one's walking around saying butt smash because she heard it on the stream.
Butt smash.
Sorry, Heather, only people porn. Let's see. Heather Allen, Courtney Rose Dameron is posting food money shots. Oh my God. Where have we gone in the chat here, people? I always have that going in the background. Was looking forward to the food porn and butt smash. Give JW so he can show off his art and art collection.
Yeah, I do. Now I've started doing all my penciling mostly digital because.
Give me that one more time. I'm on Instagram now. Sorry about that.
It's at Hooligan _Alley _cosplay. And it's mostly stuff I've colored.
All right, I got you.
And there's some stuff there I penciled, but no pages or anything. I don't usually show pages because, well, that's why you buy the book, right?
That's right. Let's see here. Get back in StreamYard. We'll share screen this bad boy. We need butt smash pics of this food porn meeting butts now. It must happen. Okay. Why did I bring up Hooligan Alley Comics? That's not what I put it.
That's my other one, but yeah, it doesn't.
Hooligan. Yeah, I
always
think
forget.
it scrolled when I clicked on it. Here we go.
Yeah,
Hooligan Alley cosplay.
I always forget to post to that one because it's not the one that's like right on my phone.
Oh, I get you. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody freaking signed up for the stuff when it first came out,
Yeah,
and then and like they didn't do anything with it, and now it's real big, and so everybody's like, "How the hell do I get into this?" All right, here we go.
yeah.
We got it now. All right, so StreamYard, share screen, boop boop. Come on, cancel. Let's try it again. I think as I change pages, it doesn't like it.
Well, I know. I'm still learning StreamYard, so I'm like, how do I share?
Well, they just did another update dump where you can do where the one of the things you can make the comments auto post, but that's going to be a little hard to do because
Yeah,
as many people that comment, it just blows up. I'm going to give this the full screen, guys, and take us out so you can see it better. Give me just a second here.
yeah. Some of this stuff is me coloring. Like that's Drew Edward Johnson. I do a lot of his color over a lot of his work. Uh, that's Randy Green. I did that on Christmas Day. There's a Brett Booth that I colored. I color a lot of his stuff. I don't know why. So,
It looks phenomenal.
there's another Brett Booth Cyclops that he did. There's the cover, the main cover for Omni, and something just happened.
Yeah, it just went crazy. StreamYard does not like it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there's I don't even remember who drew that. Oh, I did that actually on a stream the other couple weeks ago.
Something wake.
I can't read it.
Some looks like it says Tone G Wake.
I don't remember. Well, usually I posted it. That's probably why I didn't. That's a variant cover that you can get on the Kickstarter. Greg Kimmett drew that. Actually, he drew that for my first Kickstarter back 2 years ago. And I forgot about it when I started putting this one together. I found the line, like the pencils in a folder. I was like, holy crap, I totally forgot about this. And I went ahead and colored it. Actually, I tried to get someone to color it, like, because I didn't want my colors to be on everything. And then I realized I charge way too little for my coloring because everybody was like, oh, I'll do it for, so much. I'm like, holy crap, that's more than I charge for coloring books. So I just decided to put my own colors on it.
Yeah, and then you get the other end of the spectrum. You get the crazy people that like on Fiverr that are like, "Oh, I'll color that for $8."
Yeah.
And you're like, "What?"
And this is just some fan art stuff I was doing a couple of months ago just to pass some time. That's from Ray Merrick's, what is that, Operation Eclipse. That's a Stinger. That I drew and colored that. And that's I did that for Wendy Gale. That was her character, and that's like my Michael Turner, kind of look there. And it was trying out a new way to color. So she liked it, so I was happy that she liked it.
What book is that for Wendy Gale's? Because that's Chuck Penhow's wife, right?
Yeah, yeah. I can't. It might say up there. I don't remember. What I lose. I'm terrible. I've had 2 brain surgeries, so my memory is like terrible. It might not even say.
No, it doesn't
But
say.
that's whatever book she has, like, she's been working on.
Oh, okay.
So
that's recent.
Yeah. That was, I don't remember what book that was for. That was Matt Bauer's Memphis, I think the name of that book is. That's one of his characters. Like I said, I was doing fan art for people for free, just, so I had something to do.
And so Trish has a question. So question, what do you prefer to do, draw or color?
I started out drawing, so I prefer to draw. I've only been coloring. I started coloring because it was a necessity when I first put out my first book. So I had to color, and I had no idea how. So I went to YouTube, and I didn't even use Photoshop then. I used something called GIMP, which is like a free version of Photoshop kind of, and I was very bad, very very bad. Like I didn't understand how to color at all. Um, a few years ago, I found K. Michael Russell. I watched some of his videos on YouTube, and I took his courses, and that really helped. Now I color more than I draw. Like most of the stuff when I draw, it's my own stuff. But I color most of the things. There's another Brett Booth. I just wanted to show some, like the pencils compared to my colors. So I do more coloring now than I do drawing for other people. That's kind of how most people will know me, like from uh, yeah, broke down 4 dead bodies. Um, I did the colors on that for Travis Gibb, and so that's kind of how I started actually getting into the community, I guess, a couple years ago. And so a lot of these ones you'll see, like that Spider-Man one, I actually color those on my iPad in an app, Color Your Own Marvel, which is like those Marvel coloring books they put out a few years ago. They put one out like all the time, and so I'll use that. So it's totally different than trying to color on Photoshop because you're like really limited to like the pens you use and stuff. So I've tried to actually take that and I don't know. It's a whole totally different process, but it's really helped me with learning kind of because you can't do cut and grad like on that. It's really painterly. So uh, I use that every once in a while just to keep active. I guess something to do. Trish. God, I got a fly that keeps like buzzing me. It's driving me crazy.
And I didn't know my mic
I was
was
gonna say I
muted.
can't hear you. I was like, did something happen?
Yeah, so Heather said that's awesome. Jack said that's definitely Michael Turner style. And then Steph's talking about Courtney squirting hot salty butter all over the scalloped potatoes, and she charges extra for that. Whoa, we just got a comment up. So, JW, you having 2 brain surgeries is still better than Jimmy Noble when he's drunk.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
well, see, somebody pointed out this thing that's really funny that Jim has trouble saying 3-syllable words after he's had a few. So, that's been the whole huge joke now when he's on the live. Everybody starts typing in 3-syllable words into the comments. Yeah. And then stuff said it's totally worth it. He'll pay extra for it. Lewis passed out. Yeah, he said he had to leave. I think it got a little bit too much for him.
Yeah, it was.
Trudy's in the house. Yeah, who's going to give Steph CPR? He probably will have a heart attack. Let's see. Trish said I'm learning to draw on Thursdays from this guy that likes to draw circles a lot. LOL. I don't know who that could be. Probably this guy right here.
Yeah, that's probably it because Steph he does his Thursday show.
Well, I mean, we are just friends. So Ed Williams has a question for you. Is digital art your main work, or do you do any traditional art?
I do a lot of traditional stuff. I just think, especially on books that I am going to color, it's easier for me just to do it digitally because that's already on my computer. And I don't have to like go pencils, inks, then color. I can just draw it digitally and go right to colors. On my good days, like before my surgeries, I used to be able to go from a blank thing, like nothing on the page, the whole way through, like have a page lettered in a day. So I've considerably slowed down in the last couple of years just because I can't sit at the desk all day like I used to.
No, that's totally understandable.
I rather draw with a pencil because that's how I learned. But it's just for the sake of being able to save time if I'm going to draw it and color it. I just do it digitally, and like especially a lot of stuff I'm going to just throw on the Facebook. I'll do that digitally just to save time because it can be hours.
Yeah, Steph, you did miss it, but JW can give you the rundown again real quick.
What inspired on? Well, this is my I just drew it. I have another. The person who came up with it, the story and stuff, they contacted me through Hooligan Alley Comics and wanted to do the comic. Um, Now, me and him came up with the name and the look. Obviously, he's kind of that Superman archetype, which is the way we want him to look at the beginning, because obviously, um, through our story, things are going to happen. Where so I really wanted to go for that, blonde hair, blue eyes, big muscled superhero, kind of like they stole my idea on the boys and made him a blonde eyed, blue eyed Superman. So, but that's the same, just that look. And the Omni came from when we were coming up with trying to figure out a name. We started throwing out well, I said well, what's his powers going to be? And he's like, well, he's like a god. Like, he really doesn't have a limit to his powers that we know of. So I said, so he's like a god. He'd be omnipotent, omniscient. He's omnipresent. And then well, duh, that is his name. Like, he's Omni. Like, and then when we put the book out, well, when I first started 2 years ago, like 2.5 years ago, of course, I get all the people like, well, there's already an Omni in Invincible. Kirkman, did you talk? I'm like, our Omni is nothing like that Omni. If Kirkman wants to come after me for my money, he can pay. He'll end up paying more than what he's going to get from me. So I think he has more important things than coming after a little.
You can't squeeze blood from a turnip, right?
That's exactly true.
So yeah, no, and you said before too. One of the other things, guys, that you missed is he's had a few works that he's done. If you go to the Hooligan Alley website, you sign up for the newsletter, you can actually get issue 1 of his book for free.
Yeah, Project 34.
Project 34.
And actually, I did a show last night, and I'll tell everyone here, if you want them, like if people are interested, contact me. I'll send you the first 2 issues for free. I ain't worried about making money off of that book. That's a very important book to me. 2 of my best friends are my co-creators on that book. In the last year, they were husband and wife. They got divorced a couple years ago, but they were my 2 best friends. Courtney, who was my best friend, she had committed suicide in September of 2019, and then her husband Ryan, or her estranged husband, ex-husband, whatever, he took it really hard, and almost a year to the day, he ended up committing suicide this year, back in September. So that's a book, like, I just want to put it out there for people to read. Like, I don't even care if I make a dime off of that book, and I'll keep making it. Like I said, I've wrote 27 issues of that book, and I'll continue to put it out there for anybody who wants to read it.
And then Jack said, JW, since you like to draw in color, do you have a least favorite part, or maybe something you're not as good at yet?
I hate that I'm not good at it, but flatting is the worst. I understand why professional colorists hire flatters, because it is the worst. This is how I explain it. When you're an artist and you're drawing this fight scene, 2 guys are really like getting in there, and you have dirt flying everywhere, little rocks and everything. It's nothing for the artist to draw a bunch of little circles, and that looks cool. When then the colors comes in, and we have to trace over those, so we have to practice. We have to redraw it, and you could haphazardly draw it when you're doing the pencils. When a colors comes in, we have to make sure we stay inside the lines when we go around with our little, lasso tool, and it could be a pain in the butt. Like, I kick myself all the time. I know Steph, who, if he's still here, he always says about wings, and stupid me created 2 or 3 characters that have wings, and every time I do it, I hate myself. I'm like, why do I have freaking wings?
Yeah, he hates drawing feathers, as he always says. Leave it for the color.
I have two women that have these feather wings. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Why?
And everyone, for your convenience, I just popped in the link to hooliganalleycomics.com where you can sign up for that newsletter.
And you can, everything's linked there. If you click on it, it'll take you right to the Kickstarter also. I'm not as good as those people who can like make a link and put it in and take you right to the Kickstarter. So I got to redirect you a little bit. I'm old. Okay, I'm one of those people. I grew up before there was internet.
Sure. So you're the second artist that's told me that in the past 2 days.
About what, Trish?
Yeah, I don't know what part she did. Sorry, I was pulling up that link, guys. And then Heather said, "Is there any artist who loves drawing wings?" I think
I'm
Ruben
sure there is.
Rosas does. I mean, I hear that Ruben Rosas is taking like unlimited like wing packages. Like he absolutely loves drawing wings, especially in the painterly style.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. It's not me though. I don't know why I do that to myself. I even hate drawing capes. Capes are the worst. As soon as I get a chance, Omni's losing that cape. I'm just saying. I can't stand it.
Wings, hands, eyes, and hair are what I hate drawing. Hands are the worst. Trying to do fingers, like
Oh,
mine always look like.
I have cheats. I'm not gonna lie. I back when I started drawing.
Oh, about
I
flattening.
oh yeah, flatting is the worst. And but it's also the way I got into comics. Like it's years ago, before all my cancer stuff, I was actually starting in the DC. I was doing some flatting work. I was doing some colored on some promo stuff, and then cancer decided, yeah, you're not going to do that anymore. So I flatting is terrible, and as soon as I got a chance to, like, if anything, I'm getting paid for, like on. Broke down 4 dead bodies, I hire a flatter because if I don't have to do it myself, I ain't doing it.
So Steph's favorite commissions are if you get
Lots of feathers.
Lots of feathers. You got to have lots of flames, flowing red hair, a monorail, wood grain, and I'm missing something.
Well,
Flames.
Steph, you got to start being like Brett Booth. Brett Booth hates doing sketch covers, so he charges $4,000 for sketch cover commissions. So if you just say if it's feathers, it's going to cost you $1,000. People will quit asking for them.
No, people will probably still buy it just so Steph has to do it. I wish you could draw wings. Period. LOL. Let's see. Leave it for the colors. Yep, that's his famous line right there. Or my favorite line, famous line is "Leave it for the editor."
But if you're the colorist, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, no colors would like me. I have too many circles.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got an artist friend that calls them little sausages, and it works for fingers. LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as Carrie calls them sometimes, big sausage fingers. Let's see. Jayla, did you ever watch Incredibles? Edna, I don't do capes.
Yeah. I love The Incredibles. The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie ever.
Yeah.
And now that, Disney owns Marvel, I think they should just, come out and say, oh, yeah, we were the Fantastic Four, really.
Print pants. And let's see. In a city with lots of buildings. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my little thing. Everyone says about Rob Liefeld, and he can't draw feet. He can't draw feet.
Yeah.
Maybe when he first started back in X-Force and stuff, it did. Now he draws them all the time. You know what he doesn't draw? Backgrounds. Look through his books. There's no backgrounds. It's all just people. If there's a background, it's like some hills and some tree. That's it. There's never anything else. It's just two people or however many people's in. It's just people. There's never any background. So I'm like, that's it. I'm going to start like Rob Liefeld. No more backgrounds. If he can make millions of dollars, I can do it too.
Yeah, who needs backgrounds? If you need backgrounds, that's what Jesse Wichman's for, right, Steph? Let's see. Marcy said I don't like buildings, and Steph says draw his hands is what they are doing. Easy peasy. Let's see. Rob Liefeld can't draw anatomy, period.
Well, I don't say that because I don't want to be banned from Rob. I like watching Rob's videos because he's very. If you follow on Instagram, he's so excited about everything, like toys, and like he just got this Cable action figure for Christmas, and he had to do his video of him unboxing it and playing with it. So it's like, he's just a big kid, but I don't know how he became such a. Everyone thinks he's like God's gift of art.
And then Courtney says, I despise backgrounds. And Marcy says, I'm not skilled at technical stuff and rulers. So here
I
we are.
hardly ever use a ruler. The only time I use rulers really is when I'm drawing my gutters. That's it.
Oh, I thought the only time you used rulers was when you were drawing your naughty school teachers. Oh, that's Steph. I forgot.
That's Steph.
My bad.
I keep thinking, like, I got to get some women in my book so I can get Steph to do a cover.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Steph does do non-women covers. I mean,
yeah, never. Oh, yeah, those are the ones that don't sell, though.
We can't say that Steph hasn't done. See, because I broke the mold, and I got this.
Oh, wow.
So it still has a circle, though. It's got a moon, but so I did break the mold. Steph told me I owed him $1 million for making him do a male. Male.
Cost a little bit more.
So here's the Kickstarter, guys. We got the landing page here. You're at 767 out of 2,500 with 30 days to go. And let's see. So there's L.C. Holt. You got a little thing about his work in horror films. Which, if you guys missed it earlier, the writer of this has starred in horror films and just did a horror film this year that'll be coming out.
Yeah, he's actually filming it now. So it's been kind of hard to get him to help me promote anything because he's, making a movie right now. So it is what it is, I guess.
And you get your little synopsis here on the colorer. Let's see, what did he say? Let's see. Whoa. Let's see. So Trish said, Steph did some backgrounds on my pick, and I love it. It has me and Mike's name carved in a tree. Thank you, Steph.
Nice. That's nice.
And then Danny said, Rob is just like that because of the effects of cocaine and Adderall. And then Jack said, Russell, for your drawing that Steph did, he went from circles to boxes. Yeah,
well, that's one of the first things you learn as an artist. Everything is one of three shapes.
Oval, circle.
Yeah, well, box. a sphere, a box, or a cylinder. That's your.
And then Mike says Rob Liefeld's.
Yeah, he is nice. I've met him a few times. I ain't saying he's not. He's just. You look at that Snake Eyes book he's doing, and there is no background.
That's a great idea that you came up with, Danny. Maybe I can get Steph to draw me a new graphic. Danny said, do not let Steph start drawing male anatomy. I don't want to see huge nuts goading at me. I mean, we do have Blue Balls reviews, so maybe he can redo this for me, and we can get, a different set of nuts for my... Oh, my God. Could you imagine if Steph did that? Wouldn't you be able to fit the words on the screen? It'd be a freaking circle template. Oh, my gosh.
The words would be tattooed on the balls.
Yeah. I'd be like, all right, we're going to have to tattoo this on there. So, all right, we got derailed again. So,
it's fine.
Wrong thing. All right, so.
That's what Steph, every show I've ever been on where Steph's in the comments, it gets derailed.
Always. Well, that or people ignore him, but I don't ever ignore stuff. That's where the fun's at. We got to keep it interesting. And Trish said, big thanks to Travis for introducing us to UJW. Only thing we don't have of yours is Project 34.
Well, Trish, I'm telling if you want print copies, let me know. I have them. I can send them to you for free. Or if you just want to pay shipping. Or I have the digitals. You get me an email address or something. I can drop you the link, the links to it, and we'll get them to you. Like I said, I'm not trying to make money off of that. I'll probably kickstart once the first chapter's done and do a graphic novel of Project 34. But, as far as the floppies go, I just kind of make them for me and like my friends. And I put it out there, I've sold a couple. That's probably actually my best selling book, funny, on Indie Planet Indie Planet. But if I make anything off Indie Planet, it goes right back to pay for shipping on my other books. I don't ever take any money out of that.
Yeah, And so sorry, Heather, I beat you to it. I mean, I know you were typing it out, but you know me, I'm on top of things. So yes, it'll definitely go good for Exploding Blue Balls reviews. Marseille's dying. Somebody send out help.
Someone send out an SOS.
Yeah, sending out an SOS. Derailing nonsense. This is normal for this group. Yes, that's very much so. It's definitely normal for anything that I'm a part of as well. Steph and I are bad influences. And then, you get Lewis in there, which I guess he passed out. I mean, he must have really fainted.
He did.
Steph, you might want to look outside your window and see if Lewis has collapsed outside of one of your windows since he likes to keep in them.
I'm gonna let you know right now that page you're showing right now is Travis Gibbs' favorite page, where Omni's flying above the earth and outer space naked. That's Travis Gibbs' favorite. Every time I'm ever on, he always has to comment about that one. He's glad that there's some full nudity in this book.
And then Trish said, email her an invoice. She likes actual digital copies, not digital.
All right, that's fine. I actually have a bunch of them sitting over here, and like I said, you just pay the shipping, and I'll ship them to you. No problem.
JW, Steph's not the only person to get things derailed, especially in this group. Steph needs to go give Lewis CPR. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. He's got to be collapsed outside of Steph's window right now because of the whole Courtney food porn thing, and then the hot salty butter poured on the potatoes.
Hot salty butter,
yeah. I mean, I'm telling you that probably got him right there. He got him all choked up, and he collapsed. So, let us know how he's doing, Steph. Let's see. Bad isn't even the word that comes to mind when y'all are involved. I need video. Use the butt smash. Oh my god. If Steph drew that scene, his balls would be the same size as the planets. Travis would be like, what the hell did you do to this, JW? Like, this guy's nuts are bigger than the moon. That's not his nuts, that's the moon.
Yes,
did you send the squirrels the text stuff again? They might have gotten to Lewis. No, Lewis is not in the bushes and stuff, so I'm waiting to see the cat in the bushes. Heather's on it. She's going to go out and with her spotlight and check for Lewis. Yeah, you better watch it, though. You got them crazy chipmunks that like to take stuff hostage. You never know what's going to happen out there. That's going to be my first book, guys. Hot Salty Butter.
Hot Salty Butter.
That's going to be a big seller, Courtney.
Especially if Steph does a cover.
It's all the nut talk. Yeah, the squirrels and stuff squirrels have gone mad. I hear him talking about nuts.
I know Steph got some nuts in there.
So here we go on to the stretch goals.
Actually, if you go back up, this week, not that far, right there. That's a early bird special because I was original launch date was yesterday. So this is a special where you get the Virgin cover of by Greg Kimmett. There's an 11 by 17 print there, which is kind of small, and the digital for $25. That runs until the 4th, as it says there. So that's a special. I think that book alone, I think I have it for, I want to say 20, because it's the Virgin cover.
Yeah, so, guys, he said the Virgin cover. It doesn't come with Virgin, so don't get your hopes up, Lewis.
So sorry,
Lewis
Steph.
Is good.
Sorry, Lewis, Steph. No.
Lewis is alive, everybody. Either Steph resuscitated him, or he.
What are you doing in Steph's bushes? That's all I want to know, Lewis.
We don't even want to know about Steph's bush. Get out of here with that, Lewis. It's nuts and ass ladies hour. Jersey Chipmunks, I got this. Well, Lewis, that's why you keep some trimmers on you at all times. Need the montage video of nuts and asses now. Oh God, Marseille, we gotta put it together. Let's see. So then you got the digital for $5. You got the physical A. Oh, you got blank covers too.
Yeah, I have a blank cover. Mainly, I have that because I don't even know if I have it on there, but I do have a level for, I want to say $75. Can't quote me on it. Where I'll actually do a sketch on the cover for you, hand drawn. And there's another variant that's done by my friend Brian Curtis. who's actually working on another book for us.
So
and
what all comes different with the director's cut?
The director's cut is a book that's about 60 pages. It might be more. If you think like Marvel's been putting those out now, where you get like the first half of whatever is the actual colored finished book, and the second half of the book is going to be my line art with LC's script. So you're going to see, the script for that page, and then how I, drew it out. So you're going to go like that throughout the rest of that book, just so you can see. Like a lot of people don't know how a comic script works, and so you can see how the script is, and then what I did. Some of it matches up, some doesn't. And then there'll also be some other added art and things like that. Some stuff about like when we were coming up with the character and stuff like that. Just some added stuff. So that's going to be a 60+ page book. Plus, you get it's got a wraparound cover that's only available in that book. It'll also come with a print of that same cover, 11x17, that doesn't have the trade dress on it. And you'll get the digital and a bunch of other stuff. But there's the custom sketch cover. It doesn't have to be Omni. I can draw whatever you want on
it. All right, somebody's got to get that one and have a giant set of balls, like him flying over the planet. Danny, there you go. There's your package right there. It was your idea. Now you got to do it. You got to have him naked flying above the planet with moon-sized nuts. Let's see. You missed the best cover. The Christmas one was awesome for pre-orders.
Yeah, because I launched about a week early, kind of a silent launch thing, and I had a special Christmas cover. It was an homage to the Superman Christmas Adventures from 1940 by John Burnley. So it was like Superman carrying, Omni's carrying Santa while he's delivering gifts, kind of thing.
So there you go, guys. I'm gonna pop. Well, I was gonna pop the link back in there again. I'll pop it back in there. Sorry, I gotta resituate. My back's throwing fits today. One of the other books that JW also had a part in, we talked about. Dang it! Not Planet 30, Project 34. Broke down 4 dead bodies. So
yeah.
I had a brain fart. Totally left my mind. So broke down 4 dead bodies, and then also he colored a few pages for Cthulhu Invades Oz as well, which is the book that was just funded a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trish, for throwing that back in there. Appreciate that. Let's see. For sure, I'm going to get Steph to do a sketch cover. I'm going to have him homage it after myself. Get out of here, Dan. Jeez. So we talked about, some of your inspirations for art and some of your inspirations, of people that you follow in comics and kind of who you took your art after. We didn't really talk about, when you first got into art. So what inspired you to start drawing and want to follow up with doing it as a passion?
Well, I've always, like I said, I started drawing, my mom will say, before I started walking. So I've always drawn. When I was younger, when I was reading G.I. Joe, I did my own little G.I. Joe comic books. Just taking notebook paper, fold them in half, stapling it, and drawing. In high school, I did my own X-Men comics. Came up with I guess it was after high school, kind of. I don't remember. But I did that for a long time. And then I ended up getting married and having kids, and I didn't draw really for a long time, unless occasionally, it'd be like Daddy, can you draw me this? Daddy, can you draw me that kind of thing. I really didn't have time to sit down and work on comic books or anything. So it went away. And then it was a while ago, but in 2013, I was living by myself, and I was just feeling kind of bad. I was in a bad place. So I just drew this picture of Boba Fett, and I put it out on my Facebook page. And I suddenly had all these people like, "Dude, that is so cool. Can I pay you to so I can use it for a tattoo. And then other people's like, oh, can you draw me this? I'll pay you for it. And I'm like, people will actually pay me to draw stuff for them? Like, that's unheard of. Like, I don't, no one's ever done that before. So, I just would do that. Like in the spare time and stuff, I was drawing like sketch cards and I was in the 501st Legion at that time. And I just, all my friends were in them. I drew them cards of their actually, if you go onto my DeviantArt page, I'd have to look real quick and get you a link for that. But on my DeviantArt page, it has all of my art going back to that point. Like, hold on a second. I'll just grab the link real quick. And, so I did that for a while. And then I moved to York in 2013, York, Pennsylvania, to work at Harley Davidson. And hold on, it's weird. But I ended up having a really bad infection, and I ended up losing part of my foot, my left foot. I almost died from staph infection, and so my art became the thing that kept me alive, like paying my rent and everything for all that time. They've changed DeviantArt, and I don't like it. Yeah, it's under Hooligan Alley.
All right, I got it. I already pulled it up. I beat you to it.
Yeah, and I started.
There's a llama running across my screen.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, I can't even remember. Someone I'd seen like, I had joined a bunch of comic book, groups, creator groups and stuff, and somebody was doing a book, and it was kind of like an anthology thing. And I drew 5 pages into that, and I didn't get paid or anything for it. I just, did you bring me up that?
No, I typed in Hooligan Alley, and it brought up something else.
Oh, no spaces.
Yeah, I know it came up when I searched it anyway, but I don't know why when I clicked on it clicked on something else. We'll get there. Go ahead, keep talking. Sorry.
But that's a bunch of the stuff I colored and all that crap, and there's some stuff that I drew in there. But so then that's everyone said about doing my own thing, like I should do my own book. So I decided to redraw that Darkest Night, and I at that point I wasn't comfortable with my writing. I had an idea of what the story was going to be, and you can see that Boba Fett picture there, that black and white one, was the one I drew back in 2012. And my art was, I think it was terrible. Like a lot of that stuff's a couple years old, and it just was terrible.
There's the llama running across the screen.
But so I hired I collaborated with a writer. He took my idea and wrote 2 issues. We put out the first issue, and it was terrible. But anyways, that started the Hooligan Alley thing. I've had a bunch of ideas for comic books. One of them is Fall from Grace. I had this idea for it. I found a writer, Daniel Ham from Ohio, and Roy H. Houston. He's from the UK, and he's the artist on it. He has a very different style of art. We have 2 issues of that are out, but we don't really say that it's out because Roy wasn't happy with his art. So we totally went back and redrew the first couple issues. Actually, it's going to be on Kickstarter after Omni. That's going to be the next thing I put on. The only thing I do on it is color it. I came up with the idea. Their idea, when the writer wrote it, it's still loosely based on my idea. But, I like what they did with it, and it's a little different. Uh,
And there you
I,
guys
I
go. I popped the link in there too if you guys want to go check out the rest
yeah,
of the works and check out that Boba Fett.
yeah, I have tons of stuff on there. Like I said, it goes back. You know, that's where I used to always post all my art, and so you can see some really bad stuff on there, really bad that I look back at that, I was like, oh my god. But um, th- there's a lot of other stuff that I really am proud of. A lot of my Transformers stuff that's on there. Um,
Yeah, but you say your art was bad then, but everybody has to start somewhere,
oh yeah, I mean,
and
it
that's
was
what's
better. It was better at one point, like when I was younger, and then if I didn't draw for 15, 16 years,
yeah.
so it's like you have to get that muscle memory back and everything.
Well, you gotta get the muscle memory back, and plus it's cool too, to be able to go back and look at the beginnings where people
Yeah,
can see, where you started and where you're at now. I mean, nobody wants to go to a page and look at their beginning art and look at their end art and see no changes. This
yeah.
way they can see,
Well,
hey,
even
JW grew as an artist, because 8 years ago it looked like this and now it looks like this, and it's
yeah.
badass.
And whenever, even in Omni, you're gonna see a change from probably issue one to about halfway through issue two. Because when the first Kickstarter failed for Omni, I just dropped. I like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm done. Like, and so I put it off. And then I dealt with cancer for the last 4 years, so it really put you know, pushed that art back. You know
Yeah,
what I
but a
mean?
damper on things.
Yeah, it wasn't as important, and that's going back to broke down four dead bodies. I was the colorist. I did the whole first issue. Um, when it came time to do the second issue, I was really into chemo at that point, and it was really hard for me to get pages done for Travis when he wanted them done. So I did all the pages that had the main two characters in it, and the pages with the police. I told him I'm gonna that way it's consistent. I'm gonna do all the pages that have these characters in it, and you go ahead and find someone else to finish the book. Um, but Travis is like, very important to me. Like he became like a brother, and he's taking care of me. Like he hasn't had to have me on the last two books, but he has. Just I color the 5-6 pages of the flashback scenes. um, so he just sent me a page a couple weeks ago to do. Like it's like, oh, there's some more in issue 4. So he was teasing me today. He's like, oh, so I don't need to pay you for those pages because I had put a post where we should just everyone should start clean in 2021. Like, if you owe me stuff, I don't worry about it. And he's like, oh, so I don't have to pay you for those pages. And I'm like, oh, you got me.
So Danny said, I need to show you one of my covers. So here is my Steph Wilson Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassin cosplay cover that I did as Steph Pool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know I'm a terrible artist.
It's not. I thought I was gonna say not suitable for art, but it's all messed
up. That's right. It's not. Yeah, not for show art. There we go. And then Jack had asked, "What is your favorite Transformer?"
Ooh, Hot Rod, easy. Hot Rod and Starscream are the two, and not freaking Rodimus Prime. It's Hot Rod. And it's only Generation 1 Hot Rod. I can't. I'm old. I'm 46 years old. I can't go anything beyond Generation 1. Really, like I don't know. I was talking to someone the other day about Beast Wars, and I could not watch that. That early computer animation stuff. I was like, I can't do it. But I do have Beast. The Beast Wars. I have Optimus Primal. I have
Dude, Beast Wars was awesome, man. I love that show.
I couldn't watch it. I'm an old guy, and I just couldn't watch that computer animation.
I understand. It looks so much different from the older stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, it's Hot Rod and Starscream are my two favorite.
Now let's see, Hot Rod. It's his fault. Optimus is dead. Unforgivable.
Don't get me. I can quote that whole movie from beginning to end. I annoy people like crazy. Like I Obelus, look, it's Unicron. That's the very first line in the movie.
And yes, I agree, Courtney. I loved Beast Wars. Beast Wars was
See,
awesome. And it went before its prime, man. They didn't.
that's. I'm sure if it came out now, I'd probably because the Transformers on Netflix. I watched that, and that's computer animation. It's just that old computer animation. I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with it. That Spider-Man that came out on MTV around that same time. Oh, it drove me nuts.
Yeah, my major ones were Gargoyles, Batman
See,
Beyond, Beast Wars, and Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. I can do some Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck was amazing. Let's see. Danny D says I have an original '80s Bumblebee
Oh,
Transformer
I have a
somewhere.
lot of the old like Generation One. Hound is another one of my favorites. I think that was because that was like the first Transformer I got was Hound. So he's like that little place.
That's
Ball whip,
right.
run off, we panini bomb.
Yeah,
I'm telling
Gargoyle.
you, I know the whole movie off by heart. Trust me.
Universal greeting. Let's see. Hi, Darkwing. Let's get dangerous. That's right. We need to make that the show theme. Welcome to Rust Explode Studios. Let's get dangerous. Let's derail to food
Especially
porn
if
and
Steph is
butt
in the comment.
smash. Yeah. Oh man, the most off the chain show that we've had so far was Wendy Steen Shaner and Christina Haggerty. It was insane. Like the stories that were being told and everything that was going on, and that's how Blue Balls Reviews was born because of the story about the fireworks show where the box blew apart and the tubes laid out and blue mortars started shooting out in the field with cows and exploding. And so and none of the cows were hurt, but it was
God.
like the following week, like every single show, like Rodney Fike show, Sean Forney show, that's all everybody was talking about was exploding blue balls. And then Danny posted this picture right here on my page without the blue glow. Well, then
Yeah.
Christina Haggerty got a hold of it, added the blue glow to it, and then reposted it to my page. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to pull this and I'm going to use it for the graphic for Blue Balls Reviews. And the host name will be Harry Sachs just because it's funny. And so, that's how this was born. So now we do book reviews on Saturdays. And, it's all about having fun. It's all about getting on here and seeing what inspired other people to create and do the things that they do. And, hats off to you for battling cancer and getting back in the saddle and doing what you love. That's awesome, man.
Star Scream. Hold on just a second. Right here happens to be my Star Scream. I usually don't open them for some reason, but this one I bought and the box was crushed, so he decided to get opened on my shelf.
Yeah, sure. The box got crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have the new Bumblebee over there somewhere. I have a cliff jumper up there. I have them everywhere. Like
You're surrounded by Transformers.
all kinds. I mean, yeah, all kinds of stuff over on my wall. I have a wall of figures over here, which a lot of times when I'm on chat, you can see. I have the new retro GI Joe that they put out at Walmart. I've got the whole first series of that, which I'm amazed. Usually, I'm amazed I haven't sold it. That's another thing. When you go through with cancer, you realize you don't ever have enough money.
Yeah.
So I end up having to sell a lot of stuff.
No, I understand, man. It was the same way with my son. When he was born, he had to have open heart surgery at birth. I went through and I'm like, what can I get rid of that's worth the most and get money right away? And that was when I got rid of my 308 that I got, and this thing was freaking sweet. But my wife's like, you don't sell that, and I'm like, it's just something. I would rather have the money to take care of things and do without than to let things go. So I totally understand that. Let's see. Take all toys out to play with. Trish cries and wants them in the plastic forever.
This is something that drives me nuts. I mean, I would usually take them out and play with them, but I don't have my own place. I live in a little room, so I usually don't take things out. I used to all the time, but who back in like the 70s and 80s thought, hey, I'm not going to open this? Like, you see it all the time. Like, these things are mint and pat. I'm like, I would have never thought, like, oh, I'm going to keep my toy in the package because it might be worth something someday.
In 40 years, it's going to be worth $1,000. Yeah, no, these things got beat to
Oh,
crap.
RC, I did just get RC not long ago. I'm one of those people, I don't like to overspend. So if I don't find it at Walmart, chances are I don't buy it unless it's something I really want.
What? Lewis, mark this down. Steph is performing an illegal operation. He won't answer your phone calls, but he answered the phone call for someone else. Now, how
I
does
don't
that
ever
work?
answer the phone. Like, I don't even know why I have a cell phone. Like, I don't answer it ever. If it's important, you leave me a voicemail and I'll call you back.
That's right. And Lewis wants to know if you've been keeping up with the Generation 1 reissues at Walmart.
Oh, the GI Joe or the X Men? I mean X Men. I'm X Men on the brain. GI Joe or Transformers? Because I have all the GI Joe reissues. Or you mean the transform? I didn't get those because I have most of my original Generation One stuff. So the only thing I would love to have now, I see now I feel stupid because my brother, my stepbrother, he was an only child, which sounds weird being a stepbrother, but he lived with his mom, and so he was the only one there. He kept all his toys in the box. He took them out and played with them, and then put them back in the box and put them away. So he had. That's what I do. If I don't know the number, it's like boom. I have like if your number isn't saved in my phone, you're not getting an answer from me. So, Transformers, yeah. I the only ones I did get were the couple years. Was it last year, 2 years ago? I don't know. I was at Walmart around my birthday, and they had the Hot Rod and the Starscream one, which I already had the original ones, but I got them again just because they were there.
And then it was an RFB 308. It was a forward ejecting 308. This thing was freaking.
Ferrari. It was a 308 Ferrari I just had in my garage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was an RFB. It was forward ejecting 308, and this thing was awesome. You could adjust the gas adjustment on it for 7.62 or 308 rounds, and this thing was like shooting a 22, and it was freaking super accurate. And it was a pretty penny too. They only ran I think the first assembly of them was like 250, and I got like number, I don't know, 65, and then they never made them again. And so I was like, man, I'm going to hang on to this forever. And then, 3 years later, you have kids and stuff happens.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't regret it. It is what it is, man. Sometimes you got to do shit. I'm about to call Stuffles right now if he doesn't answer. He's in the doghouse again. I think he has a permanent residence there, Lewis. Oh, man. Stuff. So what are we going to draw on Thursday? You're still going live this Thursday, right?
Isn't that New Year's Eve?
Yeah, he didn't go live on Christmas Eve, but I think he said he's going to go live New Year's Eve since nobody's really going to be able to go out. And he goes live at like 7 o'clock my time, so 8 o'clock his time. So he's usually only on for like 2 hours. Something like that.
Oh, everybody got quiet.
Because
we're all waiting to see if Steph answers the phone.
You just wait for it. Steph's going to be like, that MFer. What is wrong with you people? If you talk to them on a phone call, you can understand context. Yeah, that's the worst thing about text messaging, because I will text something and I'll totally, in all innocence, I will totally not even think it could be taken the wrong way. Yeah. And like the next thing you know, somebody's pissed off at me.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't mean it that way.
They're like, you angry texted me that. I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, why are you making up shit? How did you read it that way? Steph teaches me to draw cool things. That's right. I think he already got everything mailed out. We've seen the nice big stack today. I still say we need a big video group chat hangout for New Year's Eve. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I think Facebook allows like, what is it, 50 people now?
I don't know.
Hun?
If you pay for StreamYard, I don't know how many you can have.
10. 10.
Even if you pay?
I pay, and I still maxed out at 10. Yeah, it's for me to do this and have my own stuff up over your
Yeah.
head and all that stuff, and to be able to do more than one destination, it's $25 a month.
I think I got a deal in October.
Is it
I paid
Zoom?
10 a month. I can
No,
do
it's
my little
WhatsApp.
thing. I can't do a
I think
whole
it's
lot. There's other
WhatsApp
things I
that
try
gives
and I
you.
can't do it.
Yeah. If anyone calls Mike, let him know this time he told a telemarketer he was spanking the monkey and they interrupted him, so he said he had to start over and get more lotion. Oh my God. Yeah, I heard you, hon.
I think
And then someone
WhatsApp
calls animal
allows,
control.
like, 30 to 40
Yeah,
people.
Snoopy Muppets Rambo. So yeah, no, I think the worst thing I ever had. So my wife got a new number last year, and this is like the worst thing ever. So she gets a new number, and like it was every day we would get phone call from these people, and you couldn't hardly understand them. They're like, "Hello, we're looking for Travis," and I'm like, "What?" And so they kept calling her looking for this Travis. So I'm like, "Look, they ditched this number. You're not getting the money that this dude owes you. I'm sorry. Stop calling the phone." But they would not stop
I
calling.
know. I
So
was getting calls for 2. I had the number for like 2 or 3 years, and I'd still like every day get a call. But I was like, I've had this number for 2 years. Like, stop calling. It's not her.
and here's the thing, they were calling from like I don't even know where. I mean, they sounded like, they were Arabic, or I don't know,
Yeah.
they were just like hello. And so I got sick of it. They would call at like 10 o'clock at night and wake me up, and I got to be able to work for 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, I've had enough. I'm like, give me the phone. So I'm like, look, this is my wife's number now. Stop calling the phone. Don't call this number again. And I hung up. So he called me back. So I walked around the house for like 2 minutes going, durka, 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 durka. And so guess what? My kids that were 2 and 3 years old
Started
did.
saying durka, durka, durka.
Yeah. And I told the guy, I was like, look, I drive for a living. I have 3 cell phones. I have your number. I will call you incessantly all day, every day until you stop calling this number. And so like they hung up on me. So I called them back, and they had their supervisor answer the phone. He's like, please stop calling us. We won't call you no more. And I was like, thank you. Have a great day. And we never got a phone call since then. So, but yeah, my kids, they would walk down the hallways going, durka, durka, durka. I was like, that's not nice, guys. Don't do that. I'm like, Daddy was really mad, and these people were being really ignorant and waking Daddy up all the time. So yeah, so bad parenting decisions. It's not the first time something bad's happened. The other time was when I left the Steph Wilson art out, and my wife asked my son what he's looking at, and my son replies with Daddy's new boobies. It was the poster for I already forgot. We were talking about it a couple weeks ago, but it was a poster, and it had Lady Death, Vampirella, and Black Cat on it. And I mean, they were covered, but of course,
Yeah.
they had the Steph Wilson circle template. So I had stood it up against the side of the love seat over here, and I forgot about it. And he's standing over there, and he's just staring away. And I'll never forget that. So Steph, ruined my son for life. He's an educator, like he says. Score 1 for Dad. That's not the worst thing I've ever got my son to say. So we were driving one day, and Motor Mart up the street from my house. Literally, we were like 100 feet from the entrance, and this person was sitting there, like we were a block away, was sitting there the whole time. We get all 100 feet from the entrance. They finally decided to pull out in front of me. I had to lock them up because the lane next to us was loaded up. And I'm like, you stupid bitch, you dumb bitch, because it was some old lady. And I was like, so a week later, my wife is driving to Walmart, and some lady pulls out in front of him at Quick Trip down the road, and my son goes, "You dumb bitch, you stupid bitch." And my wife's like, "What did you say, Roderick?"
Where'd you
And
get
he was like, "Well, that's what Daddy said the last time a lady cut him off." She's like, "We don't say that." She's like, "I didn't know whether to laugh or to spank his butt." She's like, it came out naturally. I was like, yeah, I got to watch saying stuff like that. It happens. It just comes out sometimes, so normal size. That's only for Wendy, which you guys, I can't wait for Wendy to debut the video that I made for the con on the first. It is freaking amazing. It's awesome. I can't wait. for you guys to see this stuff. It's great. You only need circles and need only apply to your schooling. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. My kids can draw plenty of circles. All right. Let's see. That happened to us one day the same way. And my son was like 4 and he said, dummy fucker. And I was like, yeah, dummy. Oh, man, Danny. Uh, you know, and it's like you gotta laugh because you think back and you remember when you were a kid and you did the exact same thing. So it's like you can't really be mad, and my wife can't be mad at him. Like she just cracks up. She cannot keep a straight face for nothing.
Yeah,
Russell Figueroa.
my ex-wife swore like a sailor. Like I mean, it was F every other word. So obviously our kids had a very colorful language growing up. It's like, we're going to church. You can't say that now.
Yeah. He's been in the right context. Yeah. No, my wife is a bad influence on the kids because she says damn it all the time. And so Roderick will drop something and he'll be like, damn it. She'll be like, Roderick, you can't say that. So, it happens. So I had another question that I wanted to ask you. So if you could do if there's any one character out there that you could pick that you would want to draw and do art for on any comic, DC, Image, indie books, Marvel, what would it be? What would be the one thing you would want to do art for?
Well, my ultimate thing was to do anything on X-Men because that's like but so I guess it would have to be probably Wolverine just because I know that's like the scapegoat answer to everybody with X-Men. No, Wolverine, but I liked Wolverine was like my gateway into the X-Men kind of, and through a lot of things, that character ended up meaning a lot to me through the years. Like I was telling you about my friend Courtney. That was also her favorite character. And so we kind of bonded over that character a lot. So it became very personal to me. So if I could, work on anything, it'd be Wolverine. If you ever really look through my art, I end up coloring Wolverine a lot just because he is my favorite character.
That's awesome.
But if it was DC, I don't know, I don't know if I'd want to work on Batman. Or I would probably want to work on something like Teen Titans. Something like that. I'm not. I mean, I like Batman and everything, but it's like I wouldn't want that. I mean, you know how it is. Oh, you're on Batman, so now everyone critiques everything, little thing you do, and it's like, oh.
Well, it's an easy character to mess up. People are passionate about their Batman art.
Yeah,
and if you do one thing wrong,
yeah. Yeah, I really don't have a problem. Like I know, I've been reading Batman for a long time, and I see people bash Tom King a lot. I have really no problem. I mean, every writer sees a character a different way, and they're going to tell their story the way that they have to tell it. So I don't have a problem with when he makes these, some of the changes to the characters. My big problem is when a writer comes in and totally redoes the character and throws everything out and I want to do my version of the character. But I can't stand this thing where they got to reboot everything every year. It seems like Marvel's great for that. They'll run you'll have 3 Guardian of the Galaxy #1s in a year.
Yeah.
Why?
What?
Why? Years, we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of issues of books, and all of a sudden we got to reboot it every time a new writer comes on the book.
Yeah.
So you can sell #1s, I guess. I don't know.
And then you got stuff saying Teen Titans, Raven looks good in sheer outfits. Maybe it's just me.
I wish I could show you. I Brett Booth did a classic Teen Titans, and I colored it, and it's on my wall. But for some reason, those 2 prints that I colored, the ink has over the years has kind of faded out. I think it was crappy ink or something. I know it's probably on my stuff somewhere, but and when I colored it, I went classic. So it's Raven when she wore the white outfit, back then, and I really like that one, but you can't really see it. It's really faded. It looks like it's been on my wall for 100 years.
And then Steph says heavy metal cover is the bucket list.
Oh,
That's definitely gonna be a heavy cover if it's got Steph art on it. I mean, heavy upstairs.
well, that's kind of how heavy metal is. So.
And then Trish was talking about don't depaint your kids because it's not funny when they do it to you and you're going commando at the DQ.
Oh shit.
And then and then Steph was joking about me running the projector back here sometime, which is actually, it's really funny because it's true. I've always been like technologically advanced, and so the teacher couldn't figure out how to run it, and she would always be like, Russell, come up here and figure out how this works. And then have a great night, Courtney. And then Lewis said, who dude at the DQ? What did I miss? So you want to talk about a funny story. So our nephew decided that since his dad taught him that he could go to the bathroom in the woods, they pulled up at Walmart in the parking lot, and he gets out of the car and goes over and holds on to the cart corral and drops his drawers and takes a crap right in the park.
Oh my god.
And it's like, and so we laugh so hard because it's not our kid, and I can just totally see one of my kids eventually doing that for some odd reason. But it was just like the funniest thing ever. They're like, you're never gonna believe what Zach did, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, he took a crap in the Walmart parking lot. And I was like, how do you explain that to people? They're walking by, he's holding on to the cart corral, and he's just like dropping a deuce right there in the parking lot. Oh my god. So yeah, kids are the best. You get some really fun stories and really cool experiences.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got what?
When I was 5 on Christmas, we got a flocked tree, and my great aunt came over to visit, and I told her that we had a fucked tree. Don't you like our fucked tree? I know how to say flocked.
How do you call that over the loudspeaker? Clean up on aisle. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're used to it. I mean, it's Walmart.
I come out and there's like this pile of turd. You're like,
what? What happened here? Oh my gosh. Oh man. So guys, I think we're gonna wrap this up. I don't want to keep JW any longer. We had a great show. I am gonna pop his website in here again real quick for you guys. Hit him up for Project 34. Check out that project. Go check out the project on Kickstarter. Trish, do me a big solid and drop that into the comments if you would, please, because I closed out of the Kickstarter tab, and it'll probably take a year for it to come back up. Because I got like 6 windows open, and Kickstarter's slow. But definitely check out JW's website. Check out Project 34. Check out this project. Back it. Share it out. Give it some love. Sharing is caring, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
That's right. I think when the last time I checked, we need 16 backers to get to the first backer. Whatever. The backer goal. The first
stretch goal.
Yeah, the backer goal. I really have some really good stretch goals if we can get that way. I don't know if I mentioned in the comic book that Mega that takes. It's a very important part of the story in Floyd's story. I actually have planned to actually make that full Mega comic if we get that far, if we fund. So like I'd really like. I mean, that's something I think is neat. It's like I said, it's from 1979. So I'm gonna get the artists. We're doing it to look like it's a book from 1979. So the art's going to be very old school. The colors are going to be old school. Everything. So there's like in the comic book of Omni, Mega has 10 issues, and we're hoping through the length of our 12 issues, we'll be able to have that extra Mega 10 issues to go along with it. Kind of a a little side, just to add some more story into how Omni operates, because Floyd bases Omni off of Mega, because that was his, you know, if you're asking him what his favorite superhero is, it would be Mega. What did I miss?
Oh, just everybody's telling their stories. Let's see. We had Danny said, I used to tell my mom you had to wear your condominiums, which might be true for some guys. And then Jack said I worked in a shoe store and I was going to work, and before I clocked in, I noticed it was a pile of shit 10 feet from the bathroom door.
I have stories too.
Somebody didn't make it. I used to manage this pizza arcade place and it had the soft plat jungle gym thing. It was huge and kids would shit in it all the time. Having Russell on the live stream ask Lewis about the plunger show. That's why they shut down Discovery Zone. The location started to smell like pee. So, hey, you got a couple of stories? You can go ahead and tell them real quick.
Oh, well, when I worked security at this company, I ain't going to name it. They had a lot of, it's a major corporation, worldwide corporation. And they had some people from foreign country, starts with an I, ends with an India, who would work there. And the cleaning ladies would come up all the time and complain because they'd go down to the bathroom, especially the men's bathroom. In the stalls, there'd be shit on the floor. Like they would go into the bathroom, into the stall, and not use the toilet.
Sorry, Seth was saying he loves the T-shirt. I had to show it off.
So I mean, it got to the point where we had to make a sign and put on, "Please use the toilet." Like, it's adults. It's not even kids. It's adults who are going in and just on the floor instead of the toilet.
So you want to? All right, I'll end this on a really funny story. So you're talking about the security job. So when I worked for the armed courier job, so granted, this was when I had the M&P 40. So here I am, loaded, locked, cocked, ready to rock. We had to pull up at MasterCard in Lake St. Louis. We had a package for them. They were blank cards that were replacement cards for people that lost their cards. They were temporary cards to get them by until they got new ones. Because, this was like 12 years ago when they couldn't just print on site and give you a new card at the banks and yada, 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 yada. So we're at the MasterCard building, and we used to service the ATM on the inside. We would change the money out there every week. Well, they took that ATM out, so we hadn't been for like 4 or 5 months. Well, here I am. I got these 9 humongous boxes that probably weighed 80 pounds each of freaking temporary cards. And we roll up at the security checkpoint, and the guy's like, "No, you're not getting through here." And I'm like, "Look, dude, I got these packages. I'm not taking them back. They're for you. Look, here's the manifest for them. It's got your address, blah, 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 blah." So, like, we start arguing. And here comes, it was straight out of Paul Blart. Like, time slowed down. Like, I swear to God, it went slow-mo. I could hear music playing. Here comes this dude, like, probably like 500-600 pounds, rolling off on the sides on a golf cart. The cart is literally dragging on the wheels. And here he comes like 2.5 miles an hour around the corner. And then he stops and he gets out and he's got his little security guard necklace on. He comes running at me. He's unsnapping his pepper spray like he's going to pepper spray me. So I'm like, whoop, I unhooded my gun and pulled it out. And I'm like, dude, I don't think you're going to want to make this mistake. And so, I swear to God, it was just like in the movies. And so, like, we had this huge knuckle drag out argument about how I was supposed to be there, and they said I wasn't supposed to be there. They said they were going to tow me and yada, yada, yada. So we left. Then I ended up having to drag the boxes the next day. And it was so funny. I pull up at the gate, and the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, you were the vehicle that was going to get towed yesterday." And I was like, "No, dude, we weren't getting towed." I was like, "We were the people that your security guard almost met his demise." And so this is where the story gets really funny. So I had to give you the backlog to this. They direct us to the back of the building. We pull up at the dock. I go in to where they told me I needed to go, and I'm talking to people. Now, we had those messenger radios that we had the little piece up here that you could talk through, and it was also the speaker. And I didn't think to turn it down. So it's turned all the way up. Well, I'm up there standing there talking to like the CEO of that company, and he's apologizing for what happened the day before. And all of a sudden I hear over the radio, hey, that fat fucker that everybody was talking about yesterday that almost got shot is running up the ramp. He's coming to get you. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, I'm sitting here talking to the CEO of the company. So I'm like turning it down. And the other guard in the little shack, he's like laughing his ass off. That guy comes up there. He's like, what are these guys doing here? They don't belong here. They were here yesterday. Blah, blah, blah. The CEO's like, dude, calm down. You better check yourself and go on out the door. But I'm dying laughing because I mean the volume was all the way up and everybody like in the whole building heard it. And I was like, oh, for the love of God. Because, like, legitimately, my driver, Rodney, went back and told the entire plant what happened. He's like, oh, yeah, man, this guy come running up, was going to mace Russ. And he's like, he pulled his gun out. I thought he was going to shoot this motherfucker. And he's like, he told everybody about it. So, like, everybody knew. So, of course, the next day when I went back, the driver I had that day, the substitute, knew about what happened. So, yeah, that was one of my many interesting stories. So guys, thanks a lot. JW, thanks a lot for being on, man. I really appreciate it. I had a great time talking to you. I love your inspirational story. I love the fact that, like I said before earlier, congrats on beating cancer and getting back in the game.
I'm actually still in treatment.
You are still in treatment.
Yeah. This time I just decided not to go the chemo route, not to do any of that stuff, because for 3.5 years I was sick of being sick. So this time, when it came back, I decided, well, I told the doctor after my second surgery I wasn't having another one. It's just too much. So I decided this time I'm going through all natural methods. I know I feel better. So I don't know exactly how much better I'm doing. I just know I feel better than having that poison in my body.
No, dude, I get it.
So yeah, so I'm glad I can get back to
doing what you love to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was for 3.5 years. I try, and it's just so slow.
Jack said JW already beat cancer. It's going to stay that way.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been tough. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I see people now who, say, oh, they complain because they have to go. They can't take people to the doctors with them. I was living in York, Pennsylvania. I would take the bus because I don't drive. I would take the bus from York to Baltimore because I'd have to go to the doctors the day before chemo for, to take blood and all this stuff. And then I have to stay in a hotel in Baltimore, go back to the doctors the next morning, take chemo, come back, stay in a hotel again, go back the next day because you have to get a shot so the chemo doesn't eat your organs. And then I'd get to come home. And I did that all by myself for 3 nights. Like, I went, every time I went to the doctors in New York, the nurses were like, I have never seen somebody come here by themselves every time. I'm like, it's what I have to do. Like, there's, it's either that or I sit at home and die. Like, I have no choice because I don't really have, I live with my sister and now, but at that point I was living in New York. I had 2 friends. They both worked day jobs, so they weren't going to call off work just to take, to come to the doctors with me. I wouldn't expect them to either, so. So I feel for people now, but I've had to do it, so. But I'm glad for having me on. Thank you for having me on, I should say.
Yeah, you're very welcome, man. You're welcome back anytime. You want to come on and chat and shoot the shit?
I'm all like, this is all I do. I don't have a day job. I sit here at my computer all day and work on stuff. But if everyone can just go check out, I'm not a fancy link, so you just go to hooliganalleycomics.com. Yeah, you can click any of the things there. It'll take you to my Kickstarter, or if the link's in here, back it. I think you'll like it. If you like superheroes, even if you're not a huge fan of superheroes, I really want the first book to fund. I'm not going to lie. I put it out 2 years ago and it failed miserably. I had 15 backers and didn't even have $200. And so I canceled it after 2 weeks because obviously, if I only had 15 backers in 2 weeks, I wasn't going to get, enough in another 2 weeks. So the book is like 2 years old, but after the first book is when the story really takes off. And so I want the first book to fund that way everyone can get the good parts. I mean, like, the meat of the story. The first issue is your classic Borigin story. Um, to just give you a little synopsis of the issue, it's Omni and Pamela. Pamela's the main female character in the book. She's like our Lois Lane, and she's interviewing him on top of a building, more or less, and it's just him telling the story of that first day of him being Omni and what led up to that. And I like I said, I think if you give it a chance, you're really gonna like it. We have it's not your. I mean, it starts out a very Superman-like story, but if you stay all the way to the end, it is not a Superman story at all. If you just give it a chance, I think you'll really like it.
Let's make sure you get stuff in on the probing issue. No, I'm just kidding.
Whenever our female character arrives, I will get Steph to do a cover.
Yeah, you got to. You got to have the Steph cover, man. But I wish you the best of luck with this project. Thanks so much for being on tonight. Thanks so much for chatting with me. We'll be sharing this Kickstarter out and blasting out to the ether and try to get you to that fun goal. You got 30 days to go, so that's our New Year's resolution.
Yesterday was our official launch date. Like I said, I actually finished the Kickstarter a couple days before Christmas, and I decided to launch it because I was driving myself nuts. If anybody's like friends with me on Facebook, you'll see that I was asking a million questions about Kickstarters, and I just I'm gonna drive myself nuts over Christmas if I don't just put it out there and let it go.
Well, and knowing our community, you can ask a million questions and you're going to get 2 million answers because
different
answers.
Yeah.
Well, not different answers, but you're going to have everybody knocking down the door to try to help you out because that's just the kind of community we have.
Yeah, and that's what I think was missing from my first Kickstarter because I knew Travis, and that was about it. I hadn't worked with Travis yet, and so I wasn't really part of the community. I thought that LC, being who he was, his followers would just boom and
eat it up. Yeah.
But like he said, his fans are horror fans, and this isn't a horror book, so they don't really cross over. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure we'll have some that are, but it wasn't when I first thought. I was like, oh, this is going to fund easily. He's a star. Like he has thousands of followers. Or tens of thousands of people follow him. So he tells them he's writing a comic book. Yeah, they're going to buy it. The genres don't cross over too much. I discovered. So
no, and when you fail, you pick yourself up, you regroup, figure out what you did wrong, and you try again.
It was hard. I ain't gonna I tell people especially when it's your first Kickstarter. It was my first one, and it failed miserably, and it took me. I actually, after the Kickstarter failed, I still printed Omni. I went and paid for it out of my pocket and did a print run of it. I think this image behind me was a Kickstarter only cover for the last Kickstarter. And Travis Gibb is the only person who has a printed copy of that book because he liked that cover, and so I got one printed just for him and sent it to him. And he keeps telling me, he's like, why didn't you use that cover again? I was like, because it was the first one, and I was like, the art will probably show up again somewhere. But I didn't want to use any of the covers from the first Kickstarter. I wanted it to be something new, really. So all the covers are different. And so, but you'll probably see that cover art through other things as I release stuff, whether it be prints or just added art in the back of the books and stuff.
And she said, we're new to this family too, but open arms here always. And Mike said, I read horror and superheroes and sci-fi, and well, most everything, at least a little.
So do I. I probably spend more than I should on comic books. I practically read everything that comes out every month, from Image, Marvel, and DC, one way or another. It's an addiction, is what it is.
Say that word too loud. I'm just kidding. Well, thanks a lot, buddy. You have a great night.
I'm going to try.
It was a great interview, and I'll be glad to have you back for the
Anytime.
next campaigns.
I'm always here. I mean, even if it's just like to jump on and bullcrap with people.
Cool. Well,
I-
I'll have to hit you up. We might have another BS show again coming up.
All right, yeah. As long as Steph's in the comments, he can.
One last question. He said, "Is there a get drawn into the books
Yes,
here?"
there is. There's a scene in the first book where I saved it for 5 or 6 backers. I don't actually have a little thing for it, but if you go through the tiers, there's one there. And I'm terrible at this. Like I said, I had 2 brain surgeries. I can't remember shit, so I can't remember exactly how much I made it for, but it is on there. And when you're in there, you get drawn into the book. Plus, you get everything, all the covers and everything else. So I think on this book we have the main cover, we have a blank cover, we have a Greg Kimmett variant cover, and there's a cover by my friend Brian Curtis, who's doing my Future Force book. It is kind of like Teen Titans ish, kind of. It's like a teen group kind of thing. And once that book, we're doing that as graphic novels instead of floppies. So once that first story arc is finished, I'll be putting that out too. This 2021 is going to be a year. I have a backlog of books for the last 4 or 5 years that I'm hoping to finally start rolling out this year. Mike has a budget of $700 a month, no more than that. I would burn through that pretty quick. I mean, back when in the early 90s, when I got out of high school and I first started working, I had a pull list at my little comic book shop that wasn't a comic book shop. It was like a used bookstore run by these 2 old ladies, and they just happened to sell comic books. I mean, I would spend $40 to $50 every paycheck, stacks like this high. And that's when comic books were like less than $2. So I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, I go now and I pick up a couple books and it's $20 for like 3 books. I'm like, what? So I had to cut back. I do a lot of digital reading. I belong to DC Universe, whatever that is now, and Marvel, whatever. So I don't get to read them new. But once I get on there, I read everything.
I'm still here. I'm just looking to see.
I've just seen if there was any.
Let's see. Cover blank stretch.
It's probably. Oh, I'm on. Oh, I hit the Kickstarter app is terrible.
It is. It's really bad.
Especially like if you want to look at your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably new. At least I thought I had one. Yeah, enter the Omniverse. It's $150. You get drawn into the comic. You get a physical copy with the main cover. You get a physical copy of the Greg Kimmett, copy of the Brian Curtis cover. You get a blank sketch cover, and you get the director's cut. You get a PDF. You get an 11x17 print. It bookmark. It's a 2-sided bookmark. There's 3 special trading cards, and then of course like your name in the back of the book.
Hi, Wendy. You caught us right at the end.
Hi, Wendy.
So, yeah, there you go. There's your answer, Danny. $150. You get drawn into the book, and he left special spots at the beginning of the book for you people to get in there.
Yep.
So, guys, make sure you share this project out. Make this dream come true. Make it happen. New Year's resolution. Let's push this bad boy to the limit.
I've had people contact me and want to work on some of my books, and I told them it all depends on if this one funds. If it funds, I'll have the money to be able to, hire people and to. So I'm not doing all the work, and that lets my books come out a little bit better, a little bit faster. Takes, I don't know how many of people have done their books, but it takes me a while, like to draw it and then color it and do everything.
It does.
Plus, I need to work on other stuff so I can make some money. Um, so a lot of times my stuff gets put in the back burner because I have to work on some other stuff. Because there's 2 projects I am working on, which I can't, you know, I haven't been given the okay to talk about yet, but there's 2, one that I'm doing the art and the colors for, and there's another one I just did the colors for. So I'm not sure when they'll be coming out, but there's 2 other things. Hopefully this year. This year I'll be the Chuck Pino of the indie comic world, and my name will be everywhere.
Yeah, that's right, Wendy. It takes a lot of time. Well, thanks so much, JW. I appreciate you being on. We're going to, like I said, we're going to blast this out into the ether. There's the website, guys. Go check that out. The link for the Kickstarter's in there. Share this stuff out. Get your copies of Project 34 and
Yeah,
everything else.
if anyone hasn't been here, just let me know. I'll get them some free copies. First 2 issues of Project 34. The one cover is a special cover, though. I do sell that one. Courtney, before she had passed away, had drawn a cover for that one. And so it's a very limited run of 25. I do have some of those left. But I do charge for those, and it's only because it was a limited run. I ain't going to just give those ones out. But yeah, any other, if you want, I have free copies. I have, I can give you the digitals. I can send you physical ones. Just pay the shipping, whatever, the $5, so I can send them out.
Thanks a lot, buddy. You have a great night, and we'll be sharing it out.
Jack,
Yep.
I would be on 3 shows a day if I could.
I hear you. I would have too. It's hard to get into them, but my door's always open. All you got to do is ask.
All right. Thanks, Donnie. That's awesome. Thank you. He
Cool.
said he just grabbed the draw in tier. So
Cool. Thanks for that, Danny.
yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, JW. You have a great night, buddy. Have a great new year, and I wish you the best of luck with this project.
All right. Thank you, sir. And anytime you want to talk, let me know. I also have a show I do. I was doing it on Thursdays. I don't know what day I'm going to do it. Hooligan Alley Hangout. We just come and talk comics. And if anyone has anything to promote, they can come on and talk with me, and I'll share it out. So, and usually when no one's there, I color stuff. So, if you just like to watch how that works, you can do that too. But again, thanks for having me on. If everyone
You're
can
welcome.
go out and even just back stuff, that's the important thing. The more stuff you back, the more awesome comics there is, because I really think that this indie community, the indie comics right now, is where it's at. Like, people are burned out with the Marvel DC stuff, really. And I think the indie stuff is really pushing them and to get better. I think is what we need to do. So just go out and back whatever. If you back mine, that's great. If not, back some other people's stuff. You never go wrong back in reading comic books. Everyone have a good new year. Try not to go out and drink too much, because I know there's some places that you can do that.
Not here.
Pennsylvania, you can't, because we have a great shutdown through the 4th, so I can't even go eat, which is terrible for someone like me who lives in a rural area, so I can't have food delivered. So if I can't go out to eat, it really sucks. But anyway, no political stuff. Have fun. Thanks for having me. And go out and read some comics.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for being here tonight. Had a great show talking with JW. Great project. Great dude. Loved hearing the inspirations that he had with producing and creating some of the books that he's done over the years, and doing this book for Omni. Omni. There we go. I said it right. So, everybody, have a great night. Have a great week. I'm so excited about the new year. Hopefully, 2021 will be everyone's year where we're going to have a good year. Fingers crossed. So, I will see you guys all on Thursday on Stephan Papadopoulos' show. Let's give them a hard time and make sure we kick off the new year right. Excuse me. So, as always, everyone, Rust Explode Studios, projects that'll blow your mind. You all have a great night and a happy new year.